Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. Today we are here again with one more topic, that is sentence and types. In the question paper, in first question, that is language study, this is asked sentence and types. You have already studied 4 basic types, so we are going to do a quick recap of all those types, and after that I'll give you an exercise. Remember, in every exam there is at least 1 mark question on this topic. So let's go further. You already know that what is a sentence. A sentence is a group of words making complete sense with proper placement. Intentionally I have used the word proper placement, as sentence is a group of words, but it doesn't mean that those words can be placed anywhere. This pattern is important in the pattern or in the complete structure of the sentence, that is SVOCA. So generally a sentence begins with a subject, and if it is imperative it begins with a verb. So first write down this definition in your notebook: a group of words making complete sense with proper placements. For example, now here see, I have written this group of words: broke the glass he. Now it cannot be called a sentence because it doesn't follow this pattern, that is subject, verb, object, complement, adverbial. You have already studied in detail about this in your 9th class. So when we look at this sentence, subject is placed at the end, so it is not a proper sentence. So it should begin with he, after that broke, that is verb, subject, verb, and then object. This pattern SVO, or there can be sometimes SVC, SVA. For example, he ran fast. Fast is an adverb. So depending on the form of verb, the form of words coming in the sentence, there can be different patterns. You have already studied this in your 5th and 6th class. So a sentence is a group of words making complete sense with proper placement. Now first type is assertive sentences. In exams I have seen many students get confused with assertives and imperative sentences. A difference is very minute one. Let's see. An assertive sentence, it begins with a subject and ends with a full stop making statement. And in assertive sentences or in declarative or statement, there is something truth told about the subject. Something is mentioned and that is perfectly true. For example, now see, he, it begins with a subject and then it ends with a full stop. See this, it begins with a subject and ends with a full stop. Here again the table, in the second sentence the table is dirty. We are talking about table here, so table will be subject and after that remaining part and finally full stop. So an assertive sentence is that sentence which begins with a subject. That subject might be a person or maybe a non-living thing like the table, the chair, whatever it may be. Always begins with a subject and ends with a full stop. Now second thing, imperative sentences. Major difference between assertives and imperatives. Both have one common thing, that both the sentences end with a full stop. You can see in the example here, stop the car, don't make noise. It also ends, these sentences also end with full stop. Then what is the difference between assertives and imperatives? An assertive sentence always begins with a subject, but an imperative sentence always begins with a verb. See, stop, don't, make. So every time it begins with a verb. but it doesn't mean that subject is not there. It is always hidden, that is second person pronoun you, but commonly it starts with a verb. So this is the major difference between assertives and imperatives. Assertives begin with subject, it may be a person or it may be a thing, and imperatives begin with a verb. So this is the basic difference. And an imperative sentence conveys an order, a request, or an advice. Look at these examples. Stop the car, it's an order. Don't make noise, it's an order. Pass me the pen please, it is a request. So depending upon the mood of the sentence, imperative sentence may convey us, tell us an order, a request, or an advice. Third type is an interrogative sentence. Interrogation means, you already know this, that is a question, a sentence which makes a question. So what does it begin with? It begins with either a WH word or a helping verb and ends with a question mark, making a query or a question. Now see here, it begins with a WH word. Why is he crying? It's a WH question. Is he crying? It is not a WH question, it is yes no question. You have already studied in the previous lesson of framing questions, the difference between WH questions and yes no questions. So will not go so much in detail about this, you already know this. Only remember the thing is that WH question and yes no question, and they may be, WH question begins with a WH word and yes no question begins with a helping verb like is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had, can, could, may, might, whatever. And last type is an exclamatory sentence. It may begin with what or how, but it doesn't mean that it is an interrogative sentence. How? Because if it is an interrogative sentence, then after what or how there will be a special verb or helping verb like is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had. Then it is a question. But in exclamatory, after what or how, there will be an adjective placed after this. How stupid, what a lovely. You can see the differences here. Immediately after these words, there is an adjective placed or put after that. So it shows that it is an exclamatory sentence because it shows sudden feelings. Sudden feelings means what? Those feelings after experiencing something, we don't think over about that. It just comes out suddenly. Suppose you see a snake or something very dangerous, automatically the words come out. Oh my God. This is called exclamation. Sudden pouring of feelings. So, how stupid he is. If someone behaves very stupidly, automatically this sentence comes out. But remember, after this how and what, there should not be a helping verb. Helping verb is generally placed at the end of an exclamatory sentence. Subject and helping verbs are at the end, and in the beginning what or how, and after that adjectives. Sometimes instead of what and how, an exclamatory sentence may begin with an exclamatory word like hooray, alas, oh my God, such words. Then immediately after that word you have to give exclamatory mark, and after that the rest of the part of the sentence. So these are the 4 types of sentences. I hope you have understood. After this we are going to go in detail of this topic. Before that I'll give you homework, but in the next 2 videos what we are going to study is transformation. In assertives you already know that affirmative sentences, negative sentences. In your exam questions are asked on that. affirmative to negative by changing meaning without changing meaning, and then assertive to imperative or sometimes imperatives to assertives, then assertives to exclamatory. All those types will study in detail in the next video, which I will post after 2 days. And based on this, I'll give you a homework, a snapshot from my mobile. Complete that and send me the details of the homework. So I'll write here homework, complete the worksheet given. Thank you so much. Be safe. Don't come out.